One of the most important things in crypto to become a better crypto investor is to understand narratives, understand human psychology. And I think this is so important when we look at altcoins in particular, right? Because Bitcoin's easy to understand. People buy Bitcoin because it's a store of value, because they think it's digital gold, because they think it's a really good way to store their wealth over time. Simple, right? That's why people buy Bitcoin. And I know some people out there think that it could be transactional or what have you, but I don't think that. Nobody spends their Bitcoin. But there's a particular crypto that is different. And we talked about it recently before it just exploded in the last 24 hours. Peer-to-peer transactions, and the capability and the ability for this to happen on a grand scale with a particular crypto out there that still today is in the green amid a sea of red, and that is KASPA. And I'm going to talk about KASPA in a couple different veins in this video, so make sure you guys stick around to the end, because I really want to get this point across and get your thoughts on this and see if you agree with this, because when it comes to human psychology, here's what I think is happening with KASPA and why KASPA is making a run. We were at a breaking point with the price, by the way. Many people on X, Twitter, formerly Twitter, on YouTube said, here we go, we're getting ready for a big fall, big dip. And it was close to happening, but it didn't. We got the breakout instead of the breakdown. And I think there's a reason for that. Because people are looking at Bitcoin right now at 50,000 saying, okay, if I don't own a ton of Bitcoin right now, I'm not going to get rich off Bitcoin. And I still feel this way even when we look at it, if you own a little bit of Bitcoin. Even myself, like, I'm not looking at Bitcoin as a way to get filthy rich. I'm looking at Bitcoin as a way to store my wealth. When I do hit on an altcoin, I want to get that money back in Bitcoin to store it and secure that wealth long term. It's the altcoin market that is still super speculative. It's the altcoin market that is still going to provide these 20, 30, 40, 50x opportunities in this bull run. And one of those opportunities, I think, is KASPA. It's not only just one of those opportunities. It's an opportunity with a much more limited risk than some other competitors out there. And I think this is what's happening in the minds of people. They're saying, okay, I may have missed on Bitcoin, or I don't have enough Bitcoin now to get rich. What else is there? What's the next thing? And I think not only is it KASPA in this Bitcoin vein, but it's also STX. So I've mentioned both of these. These are the two Bitcoin plays, in my opinion, that are close and similar to Bitcoin, that still have a ton of room to run. STX literally is close to an all-time high, and KASPA just smashed through its all-time high in the last 24 hours. Yet, nobody's really talking about these two. They're still pretty underground. We haven't seen them have crazy mass adoption yet. By the way, KASPA's built on the Bitcoin consensus model, very similar. I think it's going to be better for the peer-to-peer transactions. It's proof of work. It has a halving schedule. It's very similar to Bitcoin in a lot of ways. And I think, again, the human psychology part of this, a lot of people are flocking to KASPA as they're thinking it's Bitcoin 2.0. But it's also transactional. Now, when it comes to STX, that's bringing smart contracts and DeFi to Bitcoin. Huge opportunity. People aren't realizing how big that is, because that is what separates, Ethereum from Bitcoin. Smart contracts and DeFi. If Bitcoin can do that on a grand scale through STX, that's going to be massive. And that's why we're seeing a lot of people speculate on it, and it's been crushing it. So these two in particular, KASPA, obviously, the lead there. It's one of my top 5 holdings. It has been since I started buying it at 4 cents. We've 4x'd since then. And I think this is what's really happening in the minds of investors. How else can I get exposure to things that are similar to Bitcoin that still have upside? Two of those things that have performed extremely well in the last week, KASPA and STX. It's no secret. It's no surprise. It makes all the sense in the world. And guys, follow the money. Follow the money and follow the narrative. And don't forget about the power of human psychology. And if you can crack that code and get out in front of these, this is how you make money in crypto. It's one of the big ways that gives you an advantage. Most people aren't analyzing markets like this. So with that being said, appreciate you guys. Check out all my links down below. The trading indicator has been unbelievable recently with altcoins. We've made some really nice 40 to 60% gains on 3 trades just in the last week. If you want a piece of that action, xtalgo.com, link down below.